Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here because we have a wild lineup to get through. Today's unifying theme is something I think we're all feeling right now. It's this constant, ongoing tension between incredibly fast tech advancements, our completely evaporating privacy, and the basic, everyday reliability of the tools we use. It's like the smarter our tech gets, the more it watches us, and honestly, the more it seems to just fall apart. So we're going to dig into the data, the reports, and the direct statements from the very companies building this future.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We've grouped today's chaotic tech news into 5 distinct, easy-to-follow chapters: AI and digital surveillance, cameras and the real world, hardware hassles and malware, outages and platform shifts, and finally, racing the robot overlords.
Starting things off with Section 1, AI and digital surveillance. Who's logging your keystrokes?
Look, if there's one glaring theme in the tech world today, it's that absolutely everything you do is being monitored. Let's look at how that's playing out right now on your own desktop. There's a super fascinating contrast right now in how 2 tech giants are handling your personal data. The ChatGPT macOS app just introduced an opt-in feature called Computer History. It literally monitors every single click and keystroke you make, recording it into a log so the AI can, help summarize your workflow or find a specific document. Now, you might remember Microsoft's highly scrutinized Windows recall feature, which sounds awfully similar. But OpenAI is taking a slightly different approach. They're actually skipping the screenshots entirely. They only log events, and crucially, the feature automatically ignores your private tabs and lets you blocklist specific sites. So OpenAI is tracking your computer history, but with some boundaries. But, that begs a pretty massive critical question. Who exactly is watching their models? While the AI is monitoring everything you do to make your workday feel more productive, the internal oversight over at OpenAI is undergoing some really heavily scrutinized changes. Several safety leads have actually quit the company recently, and reportedly it's because they're convinced the company is prioritizing shiny, new consumer products over actual rigorous safety guardrails.
A recent report from the Financial Times really puts this into perspective. OpenAI has reportedly just completely disbanded its preparedness team. Now, this wasn't just some standard bug-fixing group. This team's entire job was checking whether their AI models might accidentally cause a global catastrophe. It is genuinely a bit concerning to see the very team meant to stop worst-case scenarios get dissolved, especially right as the company is heavily eyeing shareholder value and gearing up for a potential IPO.
All right, moving to Chapter 2, cameras in the real world, the physical surveillance state.
Let's step away from the desktop for a second and out into your actual neighborhood. Digital tracking is one thing, but physical monitoring is catching up fast and not always for the better. We got this one wrong. That is a direct admission from Garrett Langley, the CEO of Flock Safety. They're the ones making those automated license plate reading cameras you've probably seen popping up around your city. Well, they recently came under intense scrutiny because police have reportedly been abusing the system. Instead of, tracking actual criminals, some officers were using these cameras to stalk romantic partners, repeatedly searching the license plates of exes and other personal targets.
So the crucial point here is how the company is responding to this massive breach of trust. Flock is rolling out some strict new safeguards. They are now going to require audit assistance and specific case codes just to run searches. They're tightening their data sharing controls across the board, and they are cutting the default data retention period from a full 30 days down to just 7 days. Langley actually stated he hopes these changes will lead to more officers being fired or arrested if they use the tool for nefarious behavior.
But contrasting Flock's pretty swift, systemic changes, we have Meta. Meta's smart glasses are still capturing and uploading covert harassment videos directly to Instagram. The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, explicitly promised the platform would crack down on these creepy, non-consensual recordings. However, Business Insider found dozens of similar clips still actively circulating on the platform. Sure, some get removed when they're flagged, but a ton of them remain, which highlights a wildly inconsistent enforcement policy. It really makes you question our faith in these massive platforms to self-regulate when they're handing consumers covert recording devices.
Which brings us to Section 3, hardware hassles and malware, the tech we can't trust.
Because honestly, even when the tech isn't actively watching us or recording us in public, sometimes it's just fundamentally broken or actively being stolen right out from under us. Consumers are facing some sheer frustration right now. Just look at this wild story from a Reddit user regarding a Best Buy Geek Squad warranty service. They sent in a high-end gaming laptop they purchased with 64 gigs of RAM, only to get it back with a 32-gigabyte stick completely removed by the service center. The reason given? They claimed the laptop, quote-unquote, only supports 32 gigabytes. It's an absolutely maddening example of literally losing hardware you paid for.
And the hardware headache doesn't stop there.
The ongoing global chip shortage is squeezing consumers in completely ridiculous ways. For instance, SK Hynix reportedly lacks the replacement SSDs needed to fulfill standard warranty claims. So instead of getting a working drive sent back to you, they're leaving customers with refunds based on what they originally paid months or even years ago. The problem, due to inflation and the current state of the chip market, that original price refund is essentially useless and won't even come close to covering the cost of buying a modern replacement today.
Now, if you think missing RAM and SSDs are bad, check out this pipeline of a virus found hosted directly on the website of Gcorm, a popular mini PC maker. Step 1. A user downloads what they think is a totally standard LAN driver from an old support page. Step 2. The installer secretly hides a virus that silently gains full administrative permissions on your machine. Step 3. It creates a backdoor to steal your data and, bringing back the theme of our very first chapter, it tracks your keystrokes. Gcorm has apologized, but seriously, if you own one of their affected AMD mini PCs, you are highly urged to do a complete full system wipe immediately.
Moving on to Section 4, Outages and Platform Shifts, when the web breaks.
Let's zoom out from individual computers to our global infrastructure. What happens when the tools the entire tech industry relies on just suddenly vanish? 20%. That number tells the whole story. GitHub, the Microsoft-owned coding hub that serves as the absolute backbone for countless software projects, suffered a massive global outage. At its peak, about 20% of all web and API requests were degraded or completely failing. This wasn't just a slow website, guys. Downloads for raw files were airing out, automated data connections between apps broke, and crucially, enterprise secure login systems like SAML and SSO were broadly impacted. Basically, a massive chunk of the world's developers couldn't even log in to do their jobs.
The outage went so deep that it actually broke GitHub Copilot, their flagship AI coding assistant. Honestly, maybe giving the AI a day off and letting Copilot stay broken was a nice little treat for the developers. But the silver lining here is the underlying architecture itself. Because Git is fundamentally a distributed system, all the code developers had stored locally on their own machines was completely safe and totally fine. GitHub identified the problematic components and rolled out the fixes, though amazingly, no official statement has been made yet as to what actually triggered the massive failure in the first place.
Meanwhile, over in the world of video platforms, YouTube is quietly shifting the ground beneath creators by fundamentally changing how they count views. Previously, a view required a short amount of playback. This old metric will now just be categorized in creator analytics as engaged views. But starting August 24th, the new standard, view, will trigger the exact second a video or live stream starts playing. YouTube promises this won't affect creator earnings or partner program eligibility, but it definitely means public view counts across the platform are likely going to rise much, much faster than we're used to seeing.
And that brings us to our final chapter, Section 5, Racing the Robot Overlords. The future is fast.
Because the future isn't just watching us, it is literally sprinting at us incredibly fast. Take a look at this wild claim. Robotics company Outrage says their new humanoid robot recently hit a top speed of 12.66 meters per second. According to the company, that beats the top speed of Usain Bolt. No way, right? Now, it is totally worth pointing out that this is an internal company claim made right ahead of their highly oversubscribed IPO in Shanghai. It's not exactly an independently verified race record. Usain Bolt might just have to come out of retirement and lace up his shoes one last time to verify it for us.
So, I leave you with this. Can you outrun the tech of tomorrow? When you combine everything we've looked at today in this explainer, from AI logging your daily keystrokes, to license plate cameras tracking your car, to smart glasses covertly recording you in public, just imagine a future where authorities pop a pair of those Meta smart glasses onto one of these super-fast, Usain Bolt-beating humanoid robots. It is a wild, chaotic tech landscape out there, and it's moving faster every single day. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack all of this. Keep your eyes open, update your passwords, and I will see you next time to explain whatever the future throws at us next.